What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, y'all. Yes, we are back, guys, with a long-awaited video for College Football 26, guys. Like, it's that time of the year again to talk about it, to bring it up, guys. If you're new to the channel, don't be a Poindexter. Hit the subscribe button, become 5-star, guys. I have still... I don't even know if I ever did a review on College Football 25, guys, but I'm still playing it to this day. The game is awesome. It's fun. It is so fun, in fact, guys, that I have yet, I haven't even completed a full season on Road to Glory. And I'm going to get into that later in the video. But, guys, College Football 25 set the bar pretty freaking high. Like, if you really sit here and think about it, this game graphically is everything that we thought it would be and more. To this day, almost a year later, or 6 months from a year, the graphics are still mind-blowing. One thing that I've always liked about college that I didn't really care for when it came to NFL games was that in college, you have so many teams to choose from that play in different conferences, and every 4 years or so, you have a completely different team. That's one thing that I've really, really loved about college as opposed to the NFL. And this game holds true. I mean, I spend so much time playing with a certain team, and then I may get a coaching offer to go somewhere else or whatever, and then I do that, and bam, it's like a completely new game. New crowd, new stadium, new teams to play, and things like that. It's pretty freaking awesome. One thing that I do like, I'll start with the positives of something that I want them to continue with into the next rendition of this game is I want them to continue with the atmosphere, the stadium atmosphere. Definitely still you can improve on it, don't get me wrong, but the crowds, the chants, the intros, it is really, really cool to see in this game. The special games where like the Penn State whiteout game, or, you may play a game and they have the striped end zones or the striped teams and stuff that you actually seeing on screen right now. Like, the atmosphere of this game is really, really cool. The national championship is really, really cool. They change the entire HUD. The entire HUD display is changed to match the playoffs. And I find that really, really cool. Now, some things they can improve on as far as stadium atmosphere is, or just presentation in general, give us a halftime show. You know what I'm saying? Give us a legitimate, it doesn't even have to be a legit somebody in the studio halftime show, but similar to how it was in NCAA 14, where you have the studio updates, you have it at the bottom of the screen, but there's not a guy that actually goes through and talks about the other games that are going on, like we saw in NCAA football 14. Bring that to the halftime show. That would be really cool. As well as throughout the game, have those studio updates. When you have a studio update, give us an actual studio update. I think that would be really, really cool. Cool to see. And I know eventually people probably skip through it and stuff like that, but it's cool to see. It's cool to have in the game and things like that. As far as gameplay, one thing that bothers me the most as I played this game is you would get a mobile quarterback, and I've recruited quarterbacks that have speeds in the 90s, accelerations in the 90s, which isn't far-fetched in college football. But the game doesn't allow those quarterbacks to be like you would see from a Lamar Jackson or back in my day with a Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? Or a Vince Young. It's like those quarterbacks are fast, but they're not behind the pocket. Like, it takes them so long to get up to speed that you have a defensive end from the backside that will catch them. And that has always bothered me in games, and I kind of get why they kind of balance that, because then people would just get fast quarterbacks and just drop back and then run rampant. But the speed at which they get up to speed, to me, is unrealistic. If your acceleration is 95 and higher, you should have the jets. You should be able to turn that on pretty quickly. But as far as that goes, gameplay wise, I like it. The moves are good. The cuts, the jukes, you can tell when you have a good back as opposed to an average back. The run game, to me, starting out with this game was a bit of a challenge, but hopefully, I learned how to run the ball. Follow behind those guys. You have to adjust to every game. And in 2026, honestly, for me, because I don't play competitive, let me say that up front. I do not play competitively. And I know that the competitive market and the competitive gameplay is going to be drastically different. But from a single player standpoint, the gameplay is great. The gameplay is great. Truck stick is good. Juking is good. Spin moving is good. Stick skills matter. So, honestly, with me, there's not that much that you can upgrade. I will say this, that EA in general has always had an issue with screenplays, and this game holds true to that. Like, trying to throw a screen is crazy. Now, I understand you got to adjust your linemen and things like that, the blocking schemes, but dude, it's insane. You can barely run any kind of screenplays in this game. But yet and still, I enjoy the gameplay. I don't see a major issue with it. Nothing that you got to drastically go in there and change. The lineman could be a little bit smarter. But other than that, that's stuff that you can improve with NCAA or with College Football 26. I feel like presentation is good. 26 can be improved, definitely. And then one of the things I guess that people are most kind of in-depth about, and I said I would get to this, now is that time, is Road to Glory. Road to Glory is fun. I know a lot of people want to be able to start from high school, but the reason, like, I've dibbled and dabbled in Road to Glory, but I haven't just dove into it. I haven't even played a full season yet. The reason, my biggest drawback from Road to Glory is not high school. I don't mind being able to pick my star rating and stuff like that. I like the whole setup of being able to train and having to balance all of that stuff with NILs and things. The biggest thing to me in Road to Glory is the camera angle. I don't understand. I understand why they put it in there. The camera angles that they do is to include immersion and stuff like that. However, I don't like, at least put a camera angle that's going to be generic. The same camera angle that you would see in your typical game, Play Now or Dynasty mode. They can add that camera angle in there as well for people like myself who don't really vibe well with the camera angle that they put into the game. Because if you've ever played quarterback in Road to Glory, you don't see the field as well. Like, at the end of the day, it is a video game. You're not going to recreate, unless you get an in-helmet cam view, you're not going to recreate that on the field viewpoint. So why do they do that crazy camera angle? I don't know. And then too, I've always, I get it. Road to Glory, you're only controlling yourself. Everybody else has to depend on themselves. But me, for one, I liked it in even Madden, where you could control everybody on the field. Because, let's be honest, guys. Computer be doing some dumb stuff sometimes. And it is blatant moves that's like, man, I would have did this move would have worked. That they don't do. So, number one, the camera angle. Add a regular camera angle into Road to Glory. And then number two, give us the option to be able to control all players on the field or just our player. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm playing quarterback and I throw a pass to a receiver, he need to, computer doesn't always make the right moves to go score. The obvious moves that are there, but I get it. You're only playing, you can't control other players. So at least put the camera angle. Along with more positions, I think everybody would be happy seeing more positions put into the game as well. Commentator-wise for next year, I like the commentary. The commentary to me never got old. It was cool having multiple commentating teams where you would have those big games where you would have Kirk and them, you know what I'm saying, and Brad Nessler, not Brad Nessler, it was Kirk Kirkstry and not Lee Corso. I can't think of the other guy's name. I'm mind blank. I'm sorry, but y'all get what I'm saying. Having those two different broadcast teams, Chris Fowler. I'm so sorry, Chris. My bad. But having those two broadcast teams it's cool. I like it. It's a breath of fresh air, and it changes up the whole narration getting boring and stuff like that. Where I could possibly want to see some improvements. With the artificial intelligence in the world that we live in now, it would be cool for them to dive more into talking specifically about your team. Now, they do. They mention stuff like your running back, how they did last game, or how the quarterback did last game. But, give some more detailed information about your team and how your particular season has been going. mention some of the teams that you've played in the past and stuff like that. I think with AI, like that stuff is very possible now in sports games and things like that. So that's something too that I kind of feel like depth wise that they could add. The celebrations, dope. I love them. Gear wise, dope. I love it. Like, as I sit here and make this video, guys, there's not much that I would change. Like, they're adding uniforms into the game regularly and they're not charging for it. That is freaking awesome. Keep that going. The stadiums look fantastic. Like, this is a tough game to beat. The biggest thing overall, if I had to pick one thing, it would be a more in-depth presentation. Like it is on TV. Heck, I don't know. Maybe get some sponsorships from Fox Sports and CBS and NBC, and have that ESPN integration into it. And I off the top, I understand why they don't. And it's because if they have those networks in there, that those networks are gonna dictate how the game is made and what can be shown and what can't be shown. And so if you're not going to do that, at least give us like those studio halftime breaks where they actually show, even show highlights from other games. I think that would be cool. Because like I said, in the world of AI, that's very possible now. I mean, heck, it was possible before AI. They did it with 2K5. Let's not forget about that. Another in-game thing that just crossed my mind, guys, is the Jumbotrons. Can we put something on the Jumbotrons besides what we see right there? Them just showing the teams, the team logos and stuff like that. Like, there were NCAA games in the past on PlayStation 2 of all places and PlayStation 3 that actually showed like the game. It was almost like a picture-in-picture kind of deal. Like, that's possible, guys. Why are we not doing that? Why are we wasting these big, beautiful Jumbotrons just flashing the school logos and stuff like that? When you go to a college football game, that is part of the immersion, is being able to look up at the screen and see the game as well. And then, too, like, hey, let's say a receiver makes a big-time catch, that you flash his picture up on the Jumbotron with his current stats from the game and stuff like that. I think that would be really dope to see in the game as well. The biggest improvements I can see in the next rendition of College Football 26 is going to be more dictated and geared more towards recruiting, possibly streamlining recruiting a little bit more, or making recruiting a little bit more in depth, and then Campus Legend or Road to Glory. Road to Glory to me will probably be the biggest selling point of 26. I could see them bringing back high school. I could see them doing things like I mentioned, like adding new camera angles, adding more positions and things like that. As far as Dynasty goes, I like it. I don't know why people that reviewed this game, oh, Dynasty is bare bones. There's like, what more do you want in there? Yeah. Hey, we could add a spring game. I think that would actually be pretty dang cool. Add some early enrollees, some spring enrollees, add some spring practice, spring training, spring games. I can absolutely see that happening, as well as the Senior Bowl. I think the Senior Bowl, well, I'll put it like this. If they add spring game, then the Senior Bowl would be something they would add to Madden, because it really wouldn't benefit you on the college football end. But at least have people selected for the Reese's Senior Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Or the East and West Shrine game. Have those things in there. And then, of course, I know people Dynasty-wise are going to say stuff like, hey, bring back the whole, add the subdivisions, the FBS teams, or the FCS teams, I'm sorry. Add those teams into the game. Add that playability where you could play their playoffs and things like that. Which, I mean, that's an option as well. I don't know if the game could contain all of that. If it can, heck, make it happen. Guys, I think 26 is going to be monumental. The reason why I feel that way is because this was the foundation. This was the groundwork. They spent the majority of their resources with the stadiums and the stadium atmospheres, and they nailed it. Now this year, this upcoming year, you're going to see them go more in depth with the game. You're going to see them add so much more depth to the game, more depth than any college football game has possibly ever had. Like because now that same energy, that same focus, that same poise is going to go into building on top of the stadium atmospheres that they already have in place, because that's where the majority of the resources went. So, this game broke sports gaming records. I don't know why they didn't think it would. I told you that it would. I told y'all that this game would outsell Madden and everything. This game has been phenomenal. So let me know in the comment section down below what y'all want to see in the next rendition of this game. What feature are you most looking forward to, or what's your wish list? And I'll take that in the comment section and we'll break those down into individual videos, guys. It's great to be back. Hope y'all hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you don't miss a single upload. Till next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.